Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I am talking about 6 steps to a successful proposal. This proposal, I'll redefine it for those who kind of don't know what I'm talking about. This is a proposal that is coming from a client that we are responding to an RFP, an SOQ. It is pretty elaborate. It has projects, people, an approach, pricing, all of these things. So this is not a sales proposal. This is a response to a submission our client is requesting. So that's what that is. And when it comes to what these six steps are, we'll talk, I'll generally give you all of them. And then today we're focusing on step 3. So starts with strategy. This occurs before an RFP comes out or SOQ. Then we go to the startup phase, talk about management, talk about developing content, the review process, which takes up about half the time. And then when it comes to the closeout interview, production, those sort of things, and wraps it all up. So this takes you from the very beginning idea of a project, when you decide you want to, I shouldn't say, when you hear about it, to being done, and hopefully you are winning it. So it takes you through that entire bid work, get work phase of a project. And today we're talking specifically about step 3. So step 3 is management. So step 1 is strategy. This occurs before an RFP. Step 2 is startup. So that's when we set everything up, a proposal, and SOQ is already out. The clock is ticking. We are T minus something. So the management is really managing that process through T minus 30, for example, or T minus 14 through the very end. So usually this is a proposal manager, a proposal coordinator. Usually the title doesn't matter. You could have a sales title, but who is the person shepherding this and ensuring it gets done, that you get everything, that is compliant, that is compelling, that you really are putting your best things forward and wanting to win this. So that's what this process is. And specific to this process, so it is kind of very general, or doesn't also seem important. But what this step involves includes managing the process. So after your kickoff meeting, what is the process to check in with our subject matter experts? What is the process to get the content? How are you going to manage this? So is that through daily meetings, daily emails, bi-weekly, no, every other day? Like, well, what's that frequency and urgency when it comes to the management and working together? And as part of that, what are you doing to ensure that everyone meets their deadlines? How are you enforcing that proposal schedule? And throughout this process, another piece of the management is also, once our client gives us changes in a formal addenda, how are we tracking that? How are you communicating that? So these are all things part of the management. And the piece that I'll talk about today is enforcing the schedule. So 1, you need to develop it. I know, a little trick. A little stickler too, right? Which means you need to have that kickoff meeting. It needs to, you need to do this. Even if it's a short schedule, even if you only have a week, like, what is the schedule? What are the timelines? What are the due dates? What does that look like for you? What does that look like for subject matter experts? What does that look like for a review process? So how do you enforce that? For me, it starts with, you really do have to, 1, create it, set realistic deadlines and expectations for each of the review processes, or so we'll keep with the 7-day. Well, no, 7 days probably, it's not realistic in my world. So we'll give ourselves 2 weeks. which isn't realistic either, but we'll say 2 weeks. But so if you have 2 weeks, what reviews are you going to do? Are you going to do 1 review? Are you going to do 2 reviews? In that short time, I would probably call it a red team, and then a final review. So 2 reviews, whether that's you consider a gold or a platinum, it depends on that level of complexity for the proposal. So setting those expectations and setting those reviews of what you want for each one, not only for yourself, so others that are reviewing your document can understand and realize also what they're getting in return. Hold your people accountable to those reviews. Communicate up when you are struggling with people responding to your reviews. Give them as much time as possible. One thing I'll do is communicate. I try to, not perfect, but at the beginning of the day, if respond to people that have sent me emails overnight, and just getting things and assignments and feedback out in the morning, so someone has all day versus the evening to work on the feedback that we're giving them. Also understand that, which sometimes it's hard when we're on these deadlines, that most of the people we're working with do have day jobs, right? Just like us, they aren't doing proposals full time. So what does that mean of communicating with them? Does it make sense that you call them, that they aren't checking their email all the time? So understand that when it comes to communicating your schedule, is what is that best mode to communicate with our content developers and subject matter experts. What else? We do need to enforce it through communication. So through a play of the day, some sort of meeting, and then making sure everyone knows those milestones and expectations, and really sometimes it is communicating the importance of what you're doing, and that level of, what's the word? Level of importance or level of desire to go after projects. So that's one thing when it comes to managing the proposal process, but it is very important, because if no one follows the schedule, what was the point? And it really does start with the proposal manager and potentially you, that sticking to your own deadlines and holding people accountable and holding yourself accountable as well. So we'll talk more about other steps when it comes to this management phase, including the importance of a play of the day or some sort of daily meeting. But good luck, win some work, and talk to you soon. Bye.